What is up, fight fans? I am Jason Burgos for MixedMartialArts.com, and I am joined by the best featherweight in One Championship history. And on September 24th at One Championship Revolution, he returns to action for the first time in 11 months. It's been too damn long against Jae Woon Kim, and that man is the Asian James Bond, aka the Situation, aka the one and only Martin Nguyen, Mr. Bond. Excuse me, Mr. Nguyen. Thank you so much for the time, as always.
I was like, hey, man, I'm gonna take you everywhere with me. That introduction was on point. Nah, thank you so much,
It's all truth,
man.
especially the Bond part. That's all true.
Mr. Bond, if only I can move like him. Nah. What's
I,
going on, man? It's always a pleasure.
I'm fantastic. I always have a bunch of questions for you, and I always appreciate your time and talking to you because you always shoot me straight with stuff like that. So, the first thing I wanted to talk to you about, and I kind of brought it up in the intro, is like the activity for you the last two years. You are smack dab in the middle of your prime, but because of COVID, because of one, they're kind of based in Asia and Singapore, you've only fought once in the last 25 months. You will be back at Revolution, like I mentioned, but how frustrating has the lack of consistency been, especially as one of the top stars of the promotion? You're not like a guy on the rise. You're one of the faces of one. You should be pretty busy. Has it been tough, or have you found some positivity, especially as a guy that's such a family oriented guy, found positivity on somewhere?
Definitely, man. It has been frustrating, but it's out of our control. It's literally out of our control. There's
Yeah.
nothing that we can physically do other than train and maintain and get better at what we do. So in a way, it's a blessing in disguise where I have been able to recoup, um, and recoup, retrain, spend time with the family, and do it all over again. It is, I mean, thankfully enough for me, I'm not in like a financial burden where I need to like fighting is my life and I need to get paid that way. It is it like it is what pays the bills, and it is what puts the food on the table and the roof over the head of my family. But in a way, I'm kind of blessed and kind of smart with my money, where I'm not, spending every single dollar that we have on materialistic things. It's going on the right things, and that's towards my family.
I'm always fascinated about the how fighters manage their finances, and I'm curious. I mean, I would imagine it's the same for you, but I don't know. Maybe it's different being out in Australia, because a lot of fighters here, I know American fighters, a lot of them invest in real estate. Real estate seems to be a big thing for several fighters. I know. Is it the same for you? Are you a real estate guy in Australia, or it's a
Definitely,
different kind of thing for you?
definitely. Let's just say that I'm comfortable in the real estate division.
Oh, so we're gonna get like Hotel Nguyen, Hotel Bond, or something
No,
like that?
no, no, not that comfortable. Just comfortable enough where I won't be paying a mortgage anytime soon.
All right, fair enough. Now, outside of a couple losses, you had a bantamweight, which isn't like your optimal division. Your title loss in October was kind of like the last loss for you in like one of the weights you're at your best at since like 2015. And it's safe to say, like I mentioned in the intro, you're the best featherweight one championships ever seen. And are you disappointed like your return to action isn't an immediate title rematch against Tan Lee? Or is it Tan couldn't make the day? I know he had issues with COVID. I know he might have had also an injury or something like that. And you coming back in a non-title fight is more like, I can't be inactive this much longer. I need to do something. I need to fight.
Let's just say you're the only one that's mind blown that I ain't getting a rematch. But look, it's whatever one championship says. I'm just gonna go with the flow. If I have to fight another 3-4 fights before I get another shot, I'm gonna do so. I'm not gonna sit around and complain and say what could have been and what could be and all that. I'm just here to do my job, and I'm here to put on a show, showcase that I am still one of the best featherweights in the world, not only in one championship. So um, the champ caught it. The champ wanted the immediate rematch. He felt like I deserved the immediate rematch. A lot of people felt like I deserved the immediate rematch. And being dominant champion for the past 3 years,
Yeah.
um, multiple divisions, and yeah, I feel like myself, I kind of deserve that. But I'm not going to sit around and cry and you know, bite the hand that feeds me. I'm just going to
Mm.
go in there and do what I do best. Fight until that contract come through of getting my title back.
And we don't really disagree too much, but I'm going to disagree. I feel not cry, but I feel like you're in more than enough a position to say, look, I want a title fight. Like I've done enough for this company. I've been the go-to guy. I've been a company guy for so long. I feel you as much as anybody could, smack your hand on the desk, say, whoa, what's going on here? But is that just is not doing that, not going the route? Is that it's just not kind of part of your makeup, or do you see that, do you feel like fighters are always in a tough spot in this game, I don't want to, like you said, rock the boat, bite the hand, like why not say, fuck, what, I need a title shot, I don't want to fight somebody else?
Nah, to be honest with you, I felt that it came down to the Kiyomi Mashishima and Gary Tonin fight. If Gary had lost that fight, then he wasn't worthy of getting a title shot. All of his following, and he's got a huge following, and he's got a huge backing in his MMA career,
Yeah.
Being 5-0, 6-0, whatever he is. People were saying that he deserved a title shot at 3-0 or 2-0, but yeah, it came down to that fight. I think it came down to that fight. If Kiyomi Mashishima had won, then I would have got an immediate rematch, because that's what makes sense.
Yeah.
But Gary Tonin had won. He's gained a lot of momentum since that win against Kiyomi Mashishima, and so I feel that one championship are kind of doing the right thing by giving the winner a title shot. And look, man, it is what it is. Title is it's just a title, man. I'm here to fight, man. I'm here to showcase why I'm the best and why I'm still the best, and well, I'll go down as one of the best. So just one fight at a time. One fight at a time.
And I'm glad you brought up being the best, because that's kind of where I was going next. I mean, two division champion and one championship, almost was a three division champion, best featherweight of all time and one, like I mentioned. It could easily be said there's not necessarily much more for you to do in one championship. And there's a belief, just because of how unfortunately things are in MMA, that let's say you want to go to the UFC, you'd probably have to take a pay cut. And that was something I talked to Lance Palmer, two-time PFL champion. That's his hesitation on going to the UFC. He feels he'd have to not have the chance to win $1 million. Is competing in the UFC something that you still like to do sooner or later, or it's probably never going to happen because you're not going to take a pay cut to go fight there?
Yeah, look, right now, as of my state of living and how comfortable I am and my loyalty, look, the one championship has looked after me from the get-go. So looking after me is meaning looking after my family, and it means a lot. It means a lot coming from me. So no matter how much of a pay cut it is, whatever, I'd still feel like if I went to the UFC, I'd have to kind of establish myself where at one championship, I'm one of the top dogs in the division to get a title shot. Basically, like my next opponent, you gotta call me out, and he feels that calling me out is the easiest way to getting a title shot. But man, it's gonna be levels come September 24th. So I'm gonna show him why he shouldn't mention my name. But yeah, in terms of going to the UFC, it's not on the agenda at all. I've signed a contract with one championship. I'm here to fulfill it. So.
Now, and I respect loyalty, and that's a great thing, and that's a good thing. However, like, part of me wonders, especially because of the inactivity, going back to inactivity you've had the last couple of years, stuff like that. I'm a big fan, and I think a lot of fans want to see something like cross promotion more. And like, say for example, boom, if you could have been like in PFL season 3 in the featherweight, tournament. I mean, that would have been great. It's party, especially because COVID is fucking with so many events around the world. It's hard to keep fighters active. Do you kind of wish there was more of that? So you could have went to PFL and fought and did something just to keep fighters active, happy. And I think that's the best way to compete with the UFC, to work together more.
Look, to be honest with you, PFL aren't the only ones that are throwing $1 million tournaments. Look at one championship; they just had one.
True.
So it's not the fact that they're throwing $1 million tournaments and people are just chasing dollar signs. It's one championship have been, regardless of me fighting or not, it's still been look after me. So I'm kind of like I'm thankful. Like, I don't really care. There's really no other organization that I'm probably going to go to. So I'm just going to finish out and ride out my career with one championship. I've got a long contract that I signed, and I'm here to fulfill that. and see how my body is and how it goes. And if it wants to go on another contract, then we'll see what happens. But right now, I'm happy, I'm healthy, and I'm here to do my job, regardless.
That's why I love you. I mean, you're a company guy. I respect that. I mean, you can't hate on that. But talk to me about Jae Woon Kim. He's former TFC champion. Another one of these fighters that's coming from South Korea, which is having showing a real strong pool of talent that's coming out of there. He's a guy with finishing ability, good pop in his hands, similar to an opponent you both kind of share in Kiyomi Matsushima, a guy you beat and he lost to. With that said, is he less threatening than Matsushima, or are there clear differences in his style as it pertains to you that makes him a very challenging test coming up for you on the 24th?
He's a good fighter. Yeah, I believe every fight is a different fight, regardless of how I beat Matsushima and how Matsushima beats him. You never know, that loss could have ignited another fire in him.
Yeah.
That's why he's on another winning streak, and he decided to call me out. But regardless, it's every fight's a different fight, and for me, I take it as it comes. I go in there and I do my thing. I show people why I'm definitely a bad fight for everyone in this division. So regardless of results or whatever, I'm here to fight. I'm here to put your lights out. I'm here to win in devastating fashion. So come fight night, I'm a show him why he should keep my name out of his mouth.
Going to the idea of talking trash, and it just came to my mind now too, because I just interviewed Marcus Buchecha. He's coming from BJJ Superstar. He's going to one championship, but we talked about trash talking. He just doesn't want any of that. That's part of why one appealed to him, because one isn't built around trash talking on Twitter. But you are at a premier gym in the world, Sanford MMA. We've seen what talking trash has done for Gilbert Burns in a teammate, has done for Derek Brunson, another teammate. I'm not saying it's the kind of thing, but what are your thoughts? Matsushima is talking shit, calling you out. Do you feel on some level, does one championship need a little bit more of that to get a little bit more buzz? Would you be open to that? Or you rather see that stuff out in UFC land and not one championship land?
Yeah, I'd rather see that in UFC land, but I mean, he done it respectively. He called me out. Even though he doesn't speak a word of English, I still think his manager or whoever he keeps tagging, that Park guy, I still think he wrote it for him, because it's the same message that OK Yoon guy wrote for Christian Lee. So it's like they did a copy and paste, and let's just hope that this works. Let's just plant the seed and see if one championship grow on it. And I still think that's what happened. They wrote that call out, and one championship liked the styles of both guys, and it's a fight that brings fireworks. It's a fight that brings attention, and it's a fight that most probably the whole of one championship fans want to see. So regardless of good call out, bad call out, it's a fight that's bound to happen. So we're here to fulfill it for the third time.
Going back to the idea of like not fighting in a title fight rematch, is this like a high risk, low reward fight for you? Taking nothing away from Kim, dude's ranked number 5 in the division, but you're going to be expected to beat him. But if you lose, that pushes you back in the title picture. It pushes him up. It's a tough spot. Like, you
Definitely
deserve the title shot. A loss is risky. Does that add all the motivation you need because of how risky this fight is for you?
Do you know what? You know how I see this fight? I see this fight as another title defense.
Okay.
That being said, I beat Kim Jae-woon, and I fight Tan Lee, and I beat Tan Lee. Who else in the top 5 haven't I beaten?
Yeah.
For real. Like, everyone in that top 5, even up until maybe number 8, whatever, I've beaten everyone. Everyone that I've fought in one championship have either been on a win streak, had either been undefeated or classed as dangerous or up and coming or a legend, and I did my thing and I beat him. So I just see this another fight as another fight. Gotta go in there, do my thing. Mindset wise, see this fight as another title defense, minus the pay and everything like that. So just gotta do my thing, minus the belt. Sorry. Just gotta go in there, do my thing, and once I do beat Kim Jae-woon, who else is there to fight?
And that's
you got another name, Gary Turner, but if he, say for instance, he loses to Tan Lee, Like he's not going to be able to fight for a title for at least another 2-3 wins. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
And that's a great point in that. Let's say you win this fight. Let's say you fight Tan and you beat him. But though that probably could set up a trilogy fight, which would be exciting and stuff like that too. Not a lot of tests on the horizon. Let's say you knock off these next two guys. You get these two on the hit list. Like I mentioned before, best featherweight champion of all time. Like not a lot more to do at featherweight other than just winning it again, defending it again. But the current lightweight champion, you've beaten him twice.
I knew you were going to mention that. I knew you were going to mention.
Well, let me. I got more. I got more though. Lightweight champion. You beat him twice. He's far better than he once was when he fought you. So it's a far more interesting fight. Sort of like Brandon Moreno and Alexander Pantoja. Like that guy Pantoja beat Brandon Moreno twice. So the third fight to finally beat him would be interesting. There's that, which I think would be a great fight. Or we're talking big challenges, big money fights. Martin Nguyen, Eddie Alvarez. Martin Nguyen, Shinya Aoki. There seems to be far more interesting fights for your lightweight. What is the thought process? Maybe not this year, maybe not next year, but is lightweight just the most interesting thing more than maybe winning the title and defending it 3-4 more times for you?
Yeah, look, let's just say there has been somewhat seeds planted of having lightweight fights. And for me, it's not that I'm scared to fight at lightweight. It's the fact that I don't want to give my opponent the upper hand, because I naturally, as I told all the matchmakers and the chairman of One Championship, I naturally walk around at 157, 158, which is roughly 71, 72 kilos.
Yeah.
Right now, as of this morning, I was 156, already ready to fight. So, me walking in at that weight and my opponent's naturally walking in at 170, 77 kilos, that's a huge weight advantage. And we've seen that when I fought Edward Falaing. I was 71 kilos, 71 and a half, whatever it was. He was fight day 79 kilos. So there was a huge difference in size. So in terms of me fighting at a catch weight, I agreed to fighting at a catch weight, but not at 170. That's just too much for me. Too much for the body. Too much to risk for my body to get injured and not be able to fight. So if these guys with big names or whatever, I know for a fact Shinya Aoki gets down to about 75 kilos, 74 kilos. That fight can happen if he does get down to that weight. But I gave the weight limit for my catchweight fights for anyone at lightweight. You know, if Christian wants it again, I'm the only guy who has beaten Christian, and Christian obviously has gotten better and obviously has defended multiple times, and he is a true champion. He's only getting better. But if Christian wants it again, he knows where to find me. It's down at the featherweight division.
Fair
and
enough.
It's simple.
Fair enough. Now, outside of being the Australian James Bond, being one of the coolest men in One Championship, what motivates Martin Nguyen? 17 fights in 9 years in the sport, 2-division champion in a major organization. Is the drive to climb the featherweight ladder again, put in the same work? Is it there? Because, you know, motivations when you started all the way in 2012 had to be different than they are now after success, after
Definitely.
being financially stable. Like, what pushes you to get out of bed in the morning, be the best version of yourself? And in any ways, is the process now, this far into it, is it more fun in ways because you're more wise to how to do things? Like, what's the motivation? Like, what keeps you to stay at that high level? Because if you lose the motivation in the sport, it'll kill you.
Man, you answered it yourself for me right there, to be the best person I can be. Regardless of being the best featherweight in the world, I still get up every day to go to that gym and be the best, not the best guy in the gym, but work hard, learn new things, keep adding to this forever changing game. I mean, if I stick to my own self, what I did up until 2018 when I lost the bantamweight fights, I was the same fighter all the way through, and I felt like I wasn't progressing. So for me, stepping out of that comfort zone, now at a new gym at Sanford, I've been here for about 1.5 to almost 2 years now. And I feel like I've, as I said, the first time when I started at Sanford, I've found a new love for the sport. But in saying that, that's not a motivation for me from finding new love. That's always going to something that's always going to be there. But motivation for me to get up every morning is obviously to be the better person, to be the better athlete, working with people who have the same desire and same goals as I do in that gym. it's literally family working with family. And so in saying that, it also motivates me as well, being away from my family, using this time as work, being away from my family. It's hard. So I make the most of it. And then when I am with my family, I can just, I kick back in Australia. I don't have to really worry about, staying in shape or anything like that, until when it comes time to fight. So.